Hey guys, Michael here. I'm coming to you from my front porch. I've uh, sent out some videos from my back deck and from my yard. Now I'm on my front porch. But I want to talk just a moment about the legitimacy of Empower Network. I did a video blog recently that I entitled I Am an Eyewitness, in which I talked about having watched several people in Empower Network go from beginner to making big money. But in our courts today, there is power in being an eyewitness. You immediately have more credibility than someone who had only heard a rumor about what happened in a particular situation. But you were there, you saw it. Now, granted, in an emotionally charged or fast paced situation that you're witnessing, like a fight or a car wreck, your brain can play tricks on you. Um, it will often fill in the gaps of the things that you didn't actually see with what you thought you saw or what would be a logical action. But with something non-eventful or less detailed, it's less likely your brain will make things up. For instance, let's say that I saw my best friend at Walmart in the same aisle I was in. Now, not a whole lot of detail. Was my best friend there or not? Yes. Now, if you were to ask me what clothes he was wearing or what items were in his shopping cart, I might be able to tell you if any of that had come up in our conversation. Otherwise, I'm likely to be clueless, like most men. But I did see him. I'd be a pretty credible witness. He's my best friend. I know what he looks like. I was telling a friend of mine, not the one in Walmart, but a different friend about a friend of another friend of mine who is making about $40,000 per month, and about another friend who had made over $5,000 in 2 weeks, and about a third friend who in just a few short months has equaled her full-time job's income with her new part-time job. Now, all three of those friends are working with Empower Network, and there are numerous other similar stories about how Empower has changed the lives financially of these people and emotionally, personally. But that's beside the point. If you want to see more of those stories, you can click on that link below the video and start watching a bunch of testimonies. However, this friend of mine was still very skeptical of the authenticity of what I was telling her. She wasn't sure if Empower Network could actually help her make that kind of money. She wondered if it was legitimate. Now, this may not be a terribly good comparison, but I began to wonder if Jesus kind of felt the same way I was feeling. His disciples were eyewitnesses to his miracles, his teachings. Various prophecies came true, his death, resurrection, ascension to heaven. But not everyone would believe it. Now granted, that's a lot to take in. People wanted him to do one more miracle, and then they'd believe, and it just doesn't work that way. So let's take just one aspect of Jesus' life, the resurrection. Over 500 people claimed to have seen Jesus walking and talking after he had died. Now, I realize that's a pretty hefty claim, but in our courts today, juries often find a defendant guilty or innocent based on the testimony of just one eyewitness. There were over 500 eyewitnesses to Jesus' resurrection. That's indisputable, right? I mean, 500 eyewitnesses can't all be mistaken. What if that number were 1,000? What if over 10,000 people were eyewitnesses? What if there were over 100,000 eyewitnesses to the legitimacy and power of Empower Network? Well, guess what? There are. There are over 100,000 customers and affiliates with Empower Network, and it's growing every single day. It's real, it works, it's here to stay. Now, does everybody make big money with Empower Network? No, absolutely not. You can see our income disclosure on any page of Empower Network's website. How much you make is dependent on how hard you work and how smart you work. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. But it definitely can be a get lots of money in an amazing amount of time job. Now, if you want to know what I'm talking about, get in. Curious about what Empower can do for you? Join now. Want to have a job where you can make the amount of money that you feel you're worth? Sign up today. Click on that link just below the video. Want to be guilty of financial success? Change your circumstances below by clicking on that link. Get started. See what it's all about. Become an eyewitness. Become guilty of financial success. Have a good day.